It's time for the 24-hour race at the Nürburgring again, and I want to have a closer look at the unique cars competing against each other, or what's left of it. In the past, the 24-hour race attracted more than 200 very different cars, and most of them were self-converted road cars. That meant that a well-built small car could win the race overall, while a sports car probably would even be slower. With the arrival of the GT3 class, that changed dramatically. Suddenly, teams could simply buy top-notch race cars directly from manufacturers, including track support. So, engineers of the manufacturer that come to the track and help you with the car. So instead of building race cars themselves, teams now bought factory race cars and only had to run them at the track. And because a factory-developed race car was almost always better than a self-built one, most teams changed to the new GT3 cars. That also meant that speeds of teams with GT3 cars increased, and huge speed differences between small teams with self-made cars and bigger teams with bought race cars increased. That made it less desirable for smaller teams to still compete because they need to watch their mirrors more often than their windscreen, and it's simply no fun anymore, so they stayed away. More on that topic in my other video. The result is that there are only 135 starters this year, and most of them are GT3, GT4 and factory-developed cab cars. And there are even GT2 cars this year. But there are still a few small teams which build their unique cars themselves, so let's have a look at them. First of all, there is the famous Opel Manta in class SP3 with the number 121. Interesting is here that the front and bonnet are carbon fiber for an overall weight of only 930 kg. It has a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder base engine which was tuned to 2 liter with now 255 horsepower. It has a Kadett GSI head and a Mercedes C-Class radiator and Porsche brake cylinder. It participated in every 24-hour race at the Nürburgring since 1994 and could only not race last year after a battery fire destroyed the car. But this year the Manta is back. Another interesting car is the Audi TTS of the Motorsport Club Sinzing with a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine, front-wheel drive, 340 horsepower and a 100-liter fuel tank. It has the number 109 and competes in the class SP3T. Bulldog Racing shows us probably the largest splitter of all cars on their John Cooper Works Mini with the number 112 in class SP3T. And another unique car is the Subaru WRX. Although it's a works Subaru, they use a left-hand drive body for the clockwise Nürburgring and a 2.4-liter Boxer engine with 380 horsepower. They developed the car further and it's the only all-wheel drive car in the field, so watch out for this one in wet conditions. The Swiss Hofer race team brings an icon with the E46 M3 GTR. It competes in the class SP6 with the number 153. Another unique car is the Dacia Logan, but this is actually a cup car. Still very interesting to see it between the much faster GT3s. And there is the V-Class for production cars. And there are 28 cars from Mini, Opel Astra GTC, BMW 1 Series, 4-door BMW 3 Series, Caymans and road legal 911s. So in summary we can say that there are 28 production cars on the grid plus a handful of interesting self-made cars. But the vast majority of around 100 cars are Cup, GT2, GT3 and GT4 factory cars. The racing is very interesting, but the unique cars get less every year. Just remember the Viper, the E34, Corrado, RS4, Calibra and many more. So let's hope for an interesting race and let me know which race cars you prefer. The factory GT cars or the smaller teams with their self-made race cars. See you at the next video.